Hello, I'm Dr. Melissa Aaron, and we're here to look at Antony and Cleopatra, Act 3. One of the things that you should note with both Act 3 and Act 4 is that there seems to be a lot of busyness going on in the sense that there are so many different scenes. When I first read Antony and Cleopatra, I actually didn't like it very much, and one of the reasons was I looked at so many different scenes and I thought, that's chaotic, that's not very well constructed. But you have to remember that this is continuous action. Characters are coming on and coming on and coming on, and the end of this scene only indicates that all characters in that particular scene have left the stage. The entrance of a whole new set of characters indicates that we've moved elsewhere. So what is happening is an intentional feeling of chaos in the sense that there are various battles, the power structure is moving very quickly. But I think as somebody who is looking at this play for the first time and trying to think of it in terms of Shakespearean performance, go ahead and consider putting a pencil mark on every line that says scene, because it will give you the wrong impression. And in some cases, I am going to skip over some of these scenes, or at least kind of keep them to a minimum explanation of what is going on. But it helps to know, again, that this is reflective of multiple different changes in power, and that it doesn't have the same feeling as actually doing this with a whole lot of separate scenes and a whole lot of separate actions. It really looks different on stage, and Act 4 has some of the same effect. Some of the things that you're seeing here is not only just chaos, but you get a little bit of the second act when you saw Cleopatra in that messenger scene. You have a parallel of that. You have the whole issue with Octavia going with Antony to Athens and having the predictable effect, which is that marriage doesn't work out, and it gives Caesar yet another motive to make war, not that he didn't have one before. So we're going to try to get through up to there. In scene 1, what you have is Ventidius, who is one of Antony's followers, or he is on his side. Antony has set off soldiers to Parthia. He's been trying to expand his power in the Middle East and all of the sections that we would consider modern Afghanistan and Asia Minor. And the thing about putting wars on Parthia is that they are expensive both in terms of people and money and supplies. And despite what Ventidius says, this particular campaign has not gone very well. It's yet another thing that causes trouble for Antony. Act 3, Scene 2 is, if you like, more of a continuation from the ends of Act 2, Scene 6 and Scene 7, where I described this as the leaders of the known world get drunk. Here it is, to a certain extent, the leaders of the known world having a hangover, and also having a farewell scene. Agrippa and Enobarbus, whom we've met talking together before, refer to Lepidus. He's still got, Mina says that he's troubled with the green sickness, line 5. The green sickness would be something that, a depression that's associated with a young girl, probably anemia. It might be something else, but it's also associated maybe with love sickness of a kind. So the fact that Lepidus is suffering from this is sort of absurd. In a way, it diminishes him still further, if that's possible. And also, Enobarbus and Agrippa sort of have a joke about how much Lepidus praises both of them. And you'll notice that the things about how he praises Caesar are put in Enobarbus's mouth, while all the things that he says to praise Antony are put in Agrippa's mouth, so that it just seems absurd. Line 6. "'Tis a noble Lepidus, a very fine one. Oh, how he loves Caesar! Nay, but how dearly he loves Mark Antony. Caesar, why, he's the Jupiter of men. What's Antony? The god of Jupiter. Spake you of Caesar? That god, then how the nonpareil? Oh, Antony, oh, thou Arabian bird." Of course, the Arabian bird is the phoenix. Nothing compares to it, right? "Would you praise Caesar? Say, Caesar. Say, go no further." Indeed, he plied them both with excellent phrases. "But he loves Caesar best, yet he loves Antony. Woo! Hearts, tongues, figures, scribes, bards, poets cannot think, speak, cast, write, sing, number. Woo! His love to Antony. But as for Caesar, kneel down, and wonder." They describe him as the beetle between two wings that lift him up. They are his shards and he their beetle. But there's another possible explanation. If you've seen scarab beetles, also called dung beetles, what they do is they're called dung beetles because that's what they do. They roll these enormous balls of dung. And so it's easy to picture Lepidus as a dung beetle rolling this enormous pile of dung in the shape of flattery. And describing somebody as a dung beetle is not very flattering in particular. Caesar, Antony, and Octavia part. One of the things that Octavia says in parting to Octavia is, "Prove such a wife as thy thoughts make thee. Antony," and this is a warning, "let not the piece of virtue which is set betwixt us, as the cement of our love to keep it builded, be the ram to batter the fortress of it." That sounds like a warning, because it is a warning, and Antony points out, "I'm offended by that suggestion. Make me not offended in your distrust. I have said." That echoes what the soothsayer said. I have said. It's really final, like death level of final. When Caesar says goodbye to Octavia, and she says, "The April's in her eyes, it is love springs, and these the showers to bring it on. Be cheerful. Sir, look well to my husband's house, and—" "What, Octavia?" "I'll tell you in my ear." Now, the thing is, that's part of her character. "I'll tell you in your ear." Whisper, 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 because she's too shy and quiet and silent to say much. But also, this tells you something about boy players. Cleopatra has to be played by an extremely experienced boy actor. And one of the signs that she/he is the fact that he gets all of these different cue lines from many different actors. She's getting them from Mardian and from Charmian and from the Messenger, and that is important. That means she/he has to know her role impeccably. Octavia, you can see that all of her cues pretty much come from Caesar, and they're small. There are very few lines, including this, "I'll tell you in your ear." And that is a sign that this may be a beginning boy actor, physically smaller in height as you've seen in a later scene, when when Cleopatra asks how tall Octavia is, that the answer is she's not tall. She's not as tall as you. If again you think of this in terms of boy actors, it would make sense that Cleopatra is being played by an older male actor, possibly one at the end of his career of playing women and on his way to playing men. We know that that happened because we have an encomium written to Nathan Field at his sort of graduation by Ben Jonson. So it's interesting. There's a very definite line between them stopping playing one kind of role and starting playing another kind of role. Again, there's this farewell, 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 and then we move into the parallel messenger scene. So we were in Rome, now we're very definitively back in Egypt.